The following game is being played with History Maker Baseball Express, a product of Play Games LLC, copyright 2022, all rights reserved. If you would like to order a copy of History Maker Baseball Express, or if you would like to check out the other products offered from Play Games, please click on the link provided in the description box below. Welcome everyone to Yankee Stadium for Game 4 of this best of 5 game series between the 2016 Chicago White Sox and the 1927 New York Yankees. The pitching matchup for this game is going to be Wadey Hoyt versus Chris Sale, a rematch from Game 1. And here is the situation. The 1927 Yankees are on the brink of losing their first series of this project. If they are unable to win this game, the White Sox will win the series and will etch their name on the winner's plaque before the start of the next series. If the 1927 Yankees are to be victorious in this game, we will force a Game 5 winner-take-all matchup back at Guaranteed Rate Field in Chicago. With that being said, Brett Laurie has stepped into the batter's box. The lineups have been exchanged before the game, and let's get to it. From Yankee Stadium. 2-2-3 is Wadey Hoyt an ace pitcher? He is a semi-ace. Decider Die says he is. So the way that I play the semi-ace rule is if the pitcher has it, he has it. If he doesn't, he doesn't. So in this case, he does. It's going to end up being a no-runs result. And we're going to roll the Decider Die again with a red 3 blank for the no runs narrative. And yes, I use the no runs narrative chart for my games. That is a optional rule for the game if you choose to use it. So after a half inning, White Sox nothing, the Yankees are coming to bat in the bottom half of the first. Here's Earl Combs. Three, four, six. Pitcher not fresh. So again, the way that I work freshness, for those of you that are joining us for the first time, or if you're watching the way that History Maker Baseball or History Maker Baseball Express is being played out, freshness is a quality for every pitcher that in the game that is being used for that game. So in this case here, Chris Sale and Wadey Hoyt are the starting pitchers for today's game. And the way that I play freshness is 3 full fresh innings and 3 semi-fresh innings for this project, because I want everything to be on a neutral playing field for both sides. So in this case here, Chris Sale is still fresh. So in this case, we move on to the batter check. Is Earl Combs a hero batter? He is a hero batter, so that's going to end up being a men on base result with a base running adjustment from the black die. In this case, Earl Combs is a neutral runner, so it's going to end up being a bases loaded situation here for Earl Combs, and we are going to be re-rolling the decider die to determine how he what he got for the game off of my optional min on base narrative chart. And he got 3 hits, which is dot is 3 hits, blank is see multiple runners on base, a side chart that comes along with the optional men on base narrative chart, which I left a link down below in the description. And I only ask that if you own a copy of History Maker Baseball Express, you can download that chart. If you don't have the game, I suggest you don't click on that link. So in this case, in this case, Earl Combs gets to collect 3 hits, courtesy of the decider die dot. So a 1 or a 6 is a home run, which is a solo home run. 2 and a 5 is a single. 3 is a triple. 4 is a double. And he gets to collect 3 hits for the game, total hits for the game. So he got a 4, which is a double. Another double, so he has 2 doubles in the game. And he has 1 more. And what do you know? 3 doubles in the game. So all 3 rolls have been 4s. So he gets to collect 3 doubles for the game. And we then go moving on to the men on base narrative chart for Mark Koenig. And I will be reading the blue and black dice together, which is a 24, and it says gold fielder makes the out. In this case, we will look at Deanna Navarro's card, and in this case, he does not have the gold fielding rating, so it'll be an error on the catcher, and the Yankees bring home a run to make it 1-0 on the error by Deanna Navarro. And I will be switching his card since he was used to determine if he had the quality or not. Then I get to rotate that player to the bottom of the stack. Mark Koenig gets on base, safe at first on an error. Everyone moves up 90 feet, and we move on to Babe Ruth. Still the Bambino as always. And we will have a fun time here, as this will be hopefully the last series before we take a little breather before opening day on March 28th. That will start the first full-fledged series for the for stateside for opening day, the 9th of the 2024 MLB season. And with that being said, I have retrieved my dice. Sorry for the delay, and let's get to it for Babe Ruth on the men on base chart. We have a 34. And that's going to say slugger hits a double. He is a slugger, so that is going to be runners advance 1 base, 2 bases on doubles. So runner on third and second is going to score. So that's going to put the Yankees up 3-0. and the runner on first will go to third, and Babe Ruth goes to second with a double. So we move on now to Lou Gehrig. Off of the mob chart, and it's going to be a 12. Slugger hits home run. He is a semi-slugger. Decider Die says he is not. That's going to end up being a single and 2 more RBIs, and the Yankees pound on Chris Sale early. He has given up 5 runs here in the first inning alone to the 1927 Yankees. The Yankees are desperate. They are desperate for a game 5, and I don't blame them one bit after being swept out of Chicago for the first 2 games, and the Yankees look like they are well on their way to sweeping the White Sox out of Yankee Stadium to force a game 5 back at Guarantee Rate Field in Chicago. So with that being said, after 1 inning of play, we have a score of 5-0 in favor of the 1927 Yankees. We move on to the top half of the second, and Austin Jackson, the center fielder for Chicago, will lead it off. 1-3-4 is Wadey Hoyt, an ace pitcher. Again, for semi-ace, I play it as if he has it, he has it. He doesn't, he doesn't. So in this case, the Decider Die says he doesn't. So we move on now to Austin Jackson's check of a 1-3-4, which is he a champion batter? He is not. So that is going to be a no runs result of 1 dot. And that will end the top half of the second with the score 1927 Yankees 5 and the 2016 White Sox nothing. So we move on to the bottom half of the second, and here is Ben Pascal to take over for this turn. 1-2. There we are. 1-2-3. It says, is Chris Sale a workman or struggler pitching? Is workman or struggler pitcher? He is not. Champion batter for Pascal. He's a semi-champion. Decider Die says he is not. So that is going to end up being a no runs result for Chris Sale, and it's going to be a 3 dot. So he holds off the Yankees after a struggling first inning. And we move on. We played 2 innings here at the stadium. The score remains 5-0 in favor of the 1927 Yankees. Top of the third, and Adam Eaton will lead things off here. 3-3-5. And it says, is Wadey Hoyt a struggler pitcher? No, he is not. Is Adam Eaton a champion batter? He is not, unfortunately. So it's going to end up being a no runs result of 3 blank. Hence, the Decider Die was not used for this turn. And that will end the White Sox 3rd inning right then and there. We move to the bottom of the 3rd. Score remains 5-0 in favor of the 1927 Yankees. Here's Tony Lazzeri, 144. Is Chris Sale a struggler pitcher? No, he is not, according to his card. Is Tony Lazzeri a sad sack batter? No, he is not. So it's going to end up being a men on base result, -1 for black die. If control, since Chris Sale has double control, he will then stymie the 1927 Yankees to no runs. So with that being said, it will become a 4. Let me just double check. Struggler, no. Sensec, no. So it'll be a 4 dot for the no runs narrative result, and that will end the third inning with the score 5-0 in favor of the 1927 Yankees. Here's Tim Anderson to lead off the top half of the fourth, and it reads a 2-4-5. 2-4-5. Is Wadey Hoyt a struggler pitcher? No, he is not. Is Tim Anderson a sad sack batter? No, he is not. So that's going to end up being a men on base result, -1 for black die of flash or control. Since Wadey Hoyt has control, we are going to take away 1 from the black die of 4, and that's going to end up being a men on base 3 result, which is a player's choice of either runners on first and second or putting the runner at third. It is 5-0. The White Sox need some runs, so we are going to put the runner on third base. And using the men on base narrative chart, the 3 and the black die becomes a 3, and we look at 5, which will end up being, it'll end up being an official scorer's decision. So with that being said, for that, we will then need to refer to the decider die. In this case, let me double check. Struggler, 2-4-5 here. Struggler, no. Satsack, no. So it says it's dot. So Tim Anderson reached base via a triple. And that's a good sign if you're a 2016 White Sox fan. You got some action going on right now, hopefully to get some runs on the board. And you got the right guy at the plate in Jose Abreu. Reading the black and blue dice as follows with a 36. Active batter gets a runner's advance to base single and a stolen base. Unfortunately, Jose Abreu is not an active runner, so it's going to end up being a contact result of 6, and that will snuff out the White Sox rally here in the 4th inning. The score remains 5-0 in favor of the 1927 Yankees, with a contact of a red die 6, which will then be a ground out. We head to the bottom of the 4th for the Yankees' turn at bats. For the Yankees' next at bats, with Joe Duggan with a 3-4-6. Is the pitcher not fresh? So again, I play it as 3 full fresh, 3 semi-fresh. We're in the semi-fresh innings, so we will refer to the decider die. Chris Sale is still fresh, so we move on to the batter check of a 3-4-6. Is Joe Duggan a hero batter? He is not. That's going to end up being a no runs result with a possible solo home run. With a possible solo home run check. And it looks like he does not have, Joe Duggan does not have either home run king or slugger. So it's going to end up being a no runs result of 4 blank. So Chris Sale, ever since the first inning, he has been keeping the White Sox in this game, hoping that they could get a chance to score him some run support before this game could reach an ending point. So with that being said, the score remains 5-0 in favor of the 1927 Yankees as we head to the top half of the 5th inning and Todd Frazier. We have a 2.25 for Todd Frazier. That is going to be, is Wadey Hoyt an ace pitcher? He's a semi-ace, and the decider die says he is an ace. So that is going to end up being a no runs result of 2 blank. We hang on to the same score with Chris Sale going back to the mound for his final inning of work. As the White Sox manager says, we're going to give him one more inning. If he gives up a run, we will either, if he gets through this inning or if he gives up a run, he will be done. So either way, this will be his last inning of work as the score is 5-0. And here is Pat Collins. 2-4-4. Is Chris Sale an ace pitcher? No, he is not. Is Pat Collins a utility batter? No, he is not. So that's going to end up being a men on base result, -1 for black die of control. Since Chris Sale has double control, we're going to take away 2 from the black die, which will then result in a men on base 2, runner on second. So that's going to end up being a 2 and a 4. And looking at the optional men on base narrative chart, that is going to be a walk and a stolen base for Pat Collins. We head now to the men on base chart for Earl Combs. But let's see, first off is the Chicago pen getting active and loose. They are not yet. So they're putting faith in Chris Sale to get through this inning. Again, reading the black and blue dice together for the men on base chart. And oh my goodness, it's a 66. So Scrapper hits a single. In this case, he is not a scrapper. So that is going to, the decider die says Earl Combs is not a scrapper. So Earl Combs is going to bring in the Yankees' 6th run of the game on a double. And that is probably going to smell the end of the night for Chris Sale as the White Sox manager pops out of that third base dugout down the left field line, and he is on his way to the mound to go get Chris Sale. And it appears he is making the move, and yes, he is. We are going to see who comes out of the pen for the White Sox with a pitching change, and we will take a timeout. David Robertson will be the new pitcher here for the 2016 White Sox. And even though it's not a save situation, the manager thought he would get some work in for this series before heading back to Chicago for Game 5. But the little note here is that the runner on second base is Earl Combs. He is responsible. He is the responsibility of Chris Sale. So if he scores, the run will go to Chris Sale and not to David Robertson, as per baseball statistics. So with that being said, Mark Koenig is now digging in at the plate, and we go back to the main chart, and we are going to give David Robertson the we're going to give him the ace quality for this at bat. 2-2-6 with hold on, sorry. Let me the decider die was on its edging here. Let me just re-roll. There we are. 1-1-2 is what do you know? Is David Robertson an ace? We gave him ace for this at bat for Mark Koenig, so yes, he is. So that is going to end up being a no-run inning, a no-runs inning. So automatically that will become an out for Mark Koenig, and no runs scored, and we're going to keep it with a 1 blank. So at the end of 5, the score is now 6-0 in favor of the 1927 New York Yankees. We go to the top half of the 6th, and Melky Cabrera will now lead it off here. 1-1-2 is Wadey Hoyt, an ace pitcher. Unfortunately, he is a semi-ace, and the decider die says, you are Mr. Hoyt. And it looks like it's going to be a no-runs inning for Wadey Hoyt, and it's going to end up being a 2 for the no-runs narrative result. And we play 5.5, I should say, 5.5 innings here at the stadium. It looks like the White Sox have already given up here, and the Yankees may as well force a game 5 back in Chicago at guaranteed rate field, barring a miracle comeback by the 2016 White Sox in this game. With that being said, we move to the bottom half of the 6th. And here is Babe Ruth. 3, 4, 5. So you guys can see it. There we go. 3, 4, 5. It's going to end up being, is David Robertson a star pitcher? He is a semi-star, and the decider die says he is not. So we move on to Babe Ruth and check. Is he a stat sack batter? No, he is not. So that is going to end up being a 3, 4, 5. Men on base, -1 for black die, flash or control. David Robertson has flash, so that will result in putting the runners either at first and second or putting the runner at third. We're not going to get too greedy and get more runs. We're just going to play it safe and put the runners at first and second, and we will read the black die of 3 for first and second and 5 on the blue die, which is going to end up being another re-roll of the decider die since it was already used during this turn to determine if David Robertson had star. So dot is going to be back-to-back singles, or blank is going to end up being back-to-back walks. Now again, back-to-back is back-to-back appearances. Dot is singles, blank is walk. And it looks like we're going to have a back-to-back singles for Babe Ruth. And we move on to the men on base chart for Lou Gehrig. We're going to have to dice again. It's on its edges. 46, reading the black and blue dice. 46. And it says same or reliever. Since David Robertson is the reliever pitcher, he will get a strikeout. If he were since he would not have gotten the strikeout if we did the same, but it's a same or reliever. Since David Robertson is the reliever, he will automatically get the strikeout and strand 2 runners on base. We head now to the 7th inning here at Yankee Stadium, number 1, with the score 1927 Yankees 6, the 2016 White Sox nothing. And we have Brett Lawrie stepping up to the plate with a 3.35. Is Hoyt a struggler pitcher? No, he is not. Is Brett Lawrie a champion batter? No, he is not. And that's going to take us to the stretch with a no-run innings result for Hoyt of a 5 blank. And the score is still in the favor of Wadey Hoyt, as he will retain freshness, as he is so far pitching a shutout so far in this game through 7. We head to the stretch with the score 1927 Yankees 6 and the 2016 White Sox nothing. Here's Ben Pascal. 3.34. 3.34, and that's going to end up being, is David Robertson a star pitcher? He is a semi-star. The Decider Die says he is. So that's going to end up being a no-runs inning result of 3. I forgot to swap the innings, but there you go. Anyway, it'll be a no-runs inning of 3. And that'll take care of the Yankees half of the 7th, as the Yankees are trying to force Game 5 back in Chicago coming up later today. And we head now to the 8th inning. Let's hope that the 2016 White Sox are thinking of something magical here, because right now they have been shut out through 7 full innings from Wadey Hoyt. We'll see what happens in these next 2 half innings. All right, I dropped my Decider Die. Here it is. 2, 3, 4. So it looks like we have pitcher not fresh. Oh, Wadey Hoyt is not fresh. Well, actually, he's semi-fresh still. Decider Die says he is not fresh. So that is going to end up being a men on base running adjustment result with a +1 for active, -1 for stoic. Since Deanna Navarro is a semi-stoic, we're going to re-roll the Decider Die to determine if he has stoic. So he does have stoic, so the 4 will become a 3. They want to get some runs, and they want them big, and they want them now. So they are going to put the runners on first and second. And for Deanna, it's going to be a 2 and a 3 on the optional men on base narrative chart with runners on first and second. We are going to roll the Decider Die once again. So dot, it's back-to-back singles. Blank is back-to-back walks. And it's going to be a back-to-back walks for Deanna Navarro. And the 2016 White Sox are making some noise here as Austin Jackson now steps up to the plate, going off of the men on base chart, the game. Reading the black and blue dice of a 35. We have, is Wadey Hoyt a control pitcher? Yes, he is, and that will snuff out any hopes, any dreams of getting some runs on the board, as the score now remains 6-0 after 7.5 innings of baseball here at the stadium. And it looks like the Yankee manager is saying to the bullpen, stand down. We're going to get Wadey Hoyt through this game for a complete game shutout in the next half inning. But let's see first about Tony Lazzeri for his at-bat here in the top half of the eighth. Or excuse me, in the bottom half of the eighth. We have a 1-4-6. That is going to end up being, is David Robertson an ace or dynamic pitcher? No, he is not. Is Tony Lazzeri a sack batter? No, he is not. -1 for black die if control. He does not have control, so that is going to end up being putting at the runners at the corners for first and third situation. And it's going to be a 4 and a 6. And it's going to end up being a men on base result. So let me double check about that. Hit the decider die was not used, and I assume it wasn't, but let me just double check here. Ace, no. Sack, no. So no, it wasn't. So it's going to end up going to the multiple runners on base chart. And that is going to end up being a red die of 1 for runners at the corners. So Lazzeri got a walk and a stolen base in 1 appearance, and he hit a single in the second appearance. Here we go now with Joe Duggan off of the men on base chart. Reading the blue and black dice as usual. 14 is the result. So Scrapper hits a single, then end of inning. So that's going to put another run on the board, which will make it be 7-0 in favor of the 1927 Yankees. Yay, Yankees scored a touchdown. Yay. No. The 1927 Yankees scored 7 runs here, thanks to Joe Duggan being a scrapper, which says Scrapper hits single, and that will do it for the Yankees' 8th inning. So the score heading to the top half of the 9th, with Wadey Hoyt coming back out to the mound, and he was being told by his manager that the bullpen will be active just in case if you falter, because we know how the White Sox know how to come back in this game, But the way that we're seeing things right now, they could be shut out. Don't want to jinx it, but let's see and find out what happens with Adam Eaton stepping up to the plate as these fans at Yankee Stadium 1 rise to their feet, cheering on Wadey Hoyt for the complete game shutout. 1-1-2. Is Wadey Hoyt an ace pitcher? He is a semi-ace. Decider die says he is not. Is Adam Eaton a sack batter? No, he is not. So that's going to become an RBI question mark result. The decider die was used to determine if he if Hoyt was an ace pitcher. So we are going to re-roll the decider die to see if Adam Eaton got the RBI. Dot, he did, and Dot, he did get the RBI, and he spoils the shutout. Blank, he doesn't, and it preserves the shutout for Wadey Hoyt. A hush comes over the crowd. And he does preserve the shutout as Adam Eaton goes down swinging on a no-runs result of 2. Dot. And that, my friends, will be your ball game as the 1927 Yankees have forced Game 5 to be played at Guaranteed Rate Field in Chicago. Oh my goodness. Wadey Hoyt has pitched a complete game shutout. Once again, your final score here in the Bronx. The 1927 Yankees 7. The 2016 White Sox nothing. Behind a Wadey Hoyt complete game shutout.